All right, good morning. We're gonna try to start this off with how I've heard several people say to do this, and we've been trying to start making videos for quite a while now, and all I keep hearing is stop thinking about it and just do it. So we're gonna just do it, and this is probably gonna be bad, but it is what it is. So we just woke up a little later than normal, but it's been a rough couple of days. We'll talk about that some more later. So we're gonna get ready, get started. We're gonna run to the donut shop and grab some breakfast, and we've decided we're gonna cheat on our diet because we've both been doing the carnivore diet pretty hot and heavy here lately, trying to get back in some kind of better health and shape. But obviously we can't go out in public looking like we just crawled out from under a bridge. So once we get this mat all taken care of, we'll go out and about. Got a pretty busy day planned for today. We got several projects we got to get going to do today, and since I only have 2 days, today and tomorrow, to get this stuff done before we have to go back to the grindstone, it's going to be a busy one. So after we get back, we got to get set up. We've got several deals that we got to do. These 2 tanks have to be drained down to where they can move. We're going to move this whole rack into our other bedroom, since now we're empty nesters. We have 4 children. They're all just grown now, and the last one just moved in with her boyfriend, so we have no kids in the house anymore. So we're going to take that spare bedroom and turn it into our animal room. So we've got those 2 that need to be cleaned and moved. We have a 42-gallon bow front that is currently taken down and outside getting ready to be cleaned. Then the big-ish 75 that we have in the living room here, it needs to be cleaned and water changed and all its regular maintenance taken care of, because it's been at least 2 weeks since we cleaned that one out. And then that's pretty much the 3 biggest projects we have as far as our animals go. But we're gonna go to the donut store and we'll be back in a minute. All right, so now that we've gotten the dog taken care of so we can leave, we can go get donuts. It's one of our favorite donut stores in town to go to. And we live in a very small town. We've got several donut stores, but the donut stores, the only one we seem to like is this one over here by the high school. So basically what we're trying to do is, we've seen vlogs and stuff like that from other people, and one of the things I've always noticed is it seems like a lot of people that do vlogs have their life together, and it seems kind of unnatural to me, because as we all know, most of us don't have our life together. We're all just facing the grindstone and taking the hits as they come. So we're going to try to keep this as natural and raw as possible. So more than likely you'll see us unkempt and things kind of in chaos, because most of us live in chaos.
And just going with the flow.
And we're all just trying to make it work. But our end goal that we're trying to do is, we've all had a love for snakes and reptiles and all things kind of creepy crawly-ish. And we're trying to start a reptile breeding business. And we actually just put the down payment on our first male foundation animal. We're going to try to start breeding boa constrictors. And we figured we wanted to take everybody on the ride of starting this out from absolute scratch and absolute nothing, with no idea of what we're doing. So if y'all want to take an exciting ride with us on going through this journey, stay tuned. Oh yeah, we got donuts now.
Yeah.
They didn't have our spicy ones that we like, but they had the regular ones. Look at that. Boudin kolaches. Now that we got breakfast in hand, we'll go back and get started on some of this other mess that we have. Time to get things started. So what we have here is, this is a 20 long that I had originally set up as my first attempt at a Halstead type dirted aquarium. And I don't know what I did wrong, but it never did. It was set up for probably about 6 months and it never did go right. It was really cloudy and foggy and it was just horrible looking. So the reason it looks as bad as it does right now is a lot of all the plants and stuff that we took out of the 42 bow front that I have outside, I just pulled them out and threw them in here just to keep them alive. There's a couple of sailfin mollies. I don't know if you can see them up there in the Java fern that's up there. So that's all that's in here, is a couple of sailfin mollies. But my main tank for this anyway is this one. This is my cherry shrimp tank and it's in pretty bad shape right at the moment. I don't really mess with this one all that much other than to feed it. But the cherry shrimp got extremely population heavy. I've been trying to get into selling these. This is my original colony. So they're to the point now where there's enough numbers in here to where I think I can safely start culling them out and putting them in a different tank for ones that are going to go up for sale. But the population got so heavy that it was starting to get detrimental to them. So what I actually did was I went and bought a dwarf pea puffer, which you can't really see him. You only see him every once in a while, like first thing in the morning when the lights come back on. He'll be out, and then the rest of the day he's kind of gone in here, and he's so small you can't really see him. But he kind of helps, doesn't really hurt the population, but kind of keeps it a little more on the manageable side for now. Once this one gets taken down to where we can move this rack, then he's probably going to end up getting his own tank, and I'm really wanting to set up a pea puffer species specific tank. So what we're going to do, like I said before, is we have this spare bedroom now because all of our kids are gone and we live a long way from where everybody else in our family lives. So they're all older, getting older now, to where they don't travel very well, so we have to go to them. So we really don't have any room, any reason for a spare bedroom. So as it is right now, like, we've got the bed and the nightstands and all that stuff. So all this stuff is going to end up getting moved out of here. But right now, I want to move that rack and those tanks into this room and get them all cleaned up and everything. And the biggest issue that I'm going to have with moving all of this isn't actually an issue with moving all of it, since this is our first video and we're introducing everybody. It's the toddler that we have that always has to get in the way, and his name is Diesel. And as you can see, he is always wherever we are, and anybody that's ever had a bully breed dog before knows that they are completely attached to you and they have no concept of personal space. So whatever I'm trying to do, he's going to be underfoot the entire time. Need to do this with. So I know this is going to sound pretty bad because I don't have a stand or anything to set my phone up on. So this is about the best angle I can get, and I'm sorry for the glare for the window. But I've got my bucket, I've got my gravel vac. This isn't, like I said, not a maintenance video. This is a moving video, so I'm gonna drain a lot more water out of these than I originally would for any kind of regular maintenance. So the first one we're gonna start on is our shrimp tank. I've got a brand new single-edged razor blade that I like to use these for scraping the tanks. I've already got my hands washed and cleaned and everything. So we'll get into scraping these down. One thing I didn't say is these two tanks, they all have grow lights on them for plants. They've only got regular 30-gallon heaters on them and sponge filters. So they're pretty minimalist, but what's in here doesn't need a lot of water flow. Some of them don't like a lot of water flow. I know the pea puffers really don't deal with a lot of really fast water flow. So that's how these are set up. Okay, so we're done with the glass scraping part. I just used my razor blade and the little scrubby pad that most of all of us had. Now, the fun part, since I don't have a Python siphoning system or anything, like I said, we keep it pretty raw and low tech around here. So good old grabbing back in the hose and yours truly. So we're gonna start with some draining this out so we can take it down and find some place to set it so we can start on the second one. Okay, so I think I've drained out enough water to where I can actually pick this thing up now. It's still going to be extremely heavy, but I don't want to drain too much water out of it because I don't want to shock it when I go to fill it back up with fresh water. As I try to get the temperatures about as close as I can, but still, I don't want to make too much chaos in it when I get ready to move it. So now we just got to unplug it. So you can see I've drained it from full down to about here now, and being as it's only a 20 long, you know, it's still gonna be pretty heavy, but not too completely terrible. Okay, well, probably should have sucked a little bit more water out of that one. We did get it moved. As you can see, it's out of there. Now we'll get started on this one here. One thing I've noticed since I've been doing this that I realize every time I do maintenance on these two tanks, and I just never do anything about it, is that I didn't give myself enough room between the top of the tank and the bottom of the shelf above it. So trying to get my arm in here to get the angles to scrape the glass and all that stuff is pretty difficult and uncomfortable, and not as makes it cleaning the tanks to where I can't get them as clean as I'd like them to, just because I don't bend that way. So we're gonna get started with scraping the glass and suctioning the water out of this one. Okay, so we've gotten both of the tanks drained and moved into their standby positions here. So now I just need to take this rack down, take it over to the other room. Like I said earlier, I think I'm gonna split it up into two separate pieces, so that way I got them both sitting to where I can easily access them. I mean, I thought it looked pretty when it was stacked up on each other, but it's just not very practical. Makes it taking care of them a lot more difficult than it needs to be. So I'm gonna get started on that, and I'll be back. So I've been trying to move these racks that were right there into this other bedroom, and does anybody else, when you're working on something, you can just feel that you're being judged the whole time you're working, because apparently I can't work without being supervised. And you can just feel the judgment off of you, like, you know, Dad, you're doing that wrong. But we've got both of them in here. The red cherry shrimp tank's gonna be this closest one, and then the other one over here will be the further one back. I gotta put the lights in. Okay, so got the lights cleaned up, got everything put back together. All we gotta do is plug it in. So what we're doing now is refilling everything with my high-tech refilling system. Anybody that's done aquariums or anything like that for any significant amount of time at all will understand what I mean. The bucket brigade is out. So what I have is a little 5-gallon bucket set up on this dresser, long hose that I use. This is what I use, the system that I use for draining my 75-gallon tank just out into the yard. And got the hose running over down on the ground and pulling a siphon into this tank over here, just slowly filling it up so we don't stir everything up, and we'll do it one bucket at a time until it's full. All right, so we just swapped it over. We got the molly tank is all filled up and lights on and everything. It's still not what I would consider where I want it to be. It's still got some pretty nasty stuff down here on the bottom of it. I'm gonna end up changing all these rocks out, but I don't want to leave these guys in a bucket or anything like that while I try to completely clean out their tank. So I got it clean enough for as it is. Like I said, it's by no way am I happy with how it's turned out as of the moment, but we're gonna get all that fixed up here in the next few days or week or so. So we got it swapped over, filling up the cherry shrimp tank, and once we get that one filled up, we'll check back in. Okay, so now we've got this one filled up. Like I said, this is my Neocaridina cherry shrimp tank. This has a Bloody Mary red cherry shrimp colony in it, and just one dwarf pea puffer fish in it. It still looks pretty rough right now with cloudy, because we literally just moved it and filled it all back up. So it'll clear out. I'm still gonna have to spot vacuum it from actually shaking it around and stirring it all up and everything. But this has always been one of my favorite tanks, because this was one of the first ones that I ever did live plants and that actually worked for me. So this is the setup that we've got now from that one rack in our dining room. So this is the official start of Berserker's Beasties. Gonna have our own animal room, and like I said before, we have put the down payment to hold our first foundation animal for when we get everything going for breeding the boa constrictors that we're trying to. The project that I have in mind right now is going for the paradigm. So really excited, can't wait for him to get here. I know this has been kind of a longer video, but just to kind of wrap it up and let you know what's going on. Like I said, my wife and I are recently empty nesters, so we don't have any children at home anymore. So we're really kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do with life now that it's not 100% 24-hour daily revolving around our children. As far as explaining why the tanks that I just moved were in the condition that they were in, it's been a pretty 2025 came out swinging for us. Right at the beginning, at the end of the year, we lost my wife's mother. She passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. Our oldest son graduated basic in the Army, so now he's at his full-time duty station. So dealing with him and everything that he had going with basic and now moving to the other side of the country from where we are for his Army career, which we're so proud of him for getting where he's at and where he's going. But yeah, between my wife's mom passing away and I work in the oil field business, and last year was not a very good year to be in the oil field business. So it was a really rough end of the year, and 2025's just come out swinging for us. So we're decided to make some changes, and I really love dealing with animals, and I really love fish and snakes and lizards and dogs and all that kind of stuff. So we're planning on giving this a shot, and I really just wanted to have an outlet to show some people that might be going through some things that we're going through, and to show this process from the absolute ground up. I mean, I've got a snake on order, and it's probably going to be a week or two before I even get the stuff for his enclosure. And his enclosure, when we first get him, is going to be real kind of bare bones, what anybody off the street that's wanting to get into snakes is going to be. So I wanted to showcase all of this stuff from the absolute beginning and just document our journey that we're going to be going on through this. And I'll be doing updates every week or possibly every other week, dealing with, depending on how my work schedule works and whether or not we have anything really interesting happen. Like I said, we got a lot of projects in the works and a lot of projects in planning stages. So just to wrap it up, like I said, this is Berserker's Beasties. My name's Steven. My wife's name is April. We just really hope that people will want to go on this ride with us and watch this to be built to whatever it's going to end up being. Is it going to be a great success? I don't know. Is it going to be an epic failure? It's entirely possible, but you're never going to know if you don't take the chance. So we're finally taking the step off the cliff. We're in it now. We're going to see where this goes, and I really hope you guys go along this journey with us. And we're always wanting to learn something, always wanting to pass on anything we might know to anybody else. So get in the comment fields, like, subscribe, share, help us out. We'll help out anybody we can in any way we can. Send this around and help us grow. I'm Steven. This is Berserker's Beasties, and we love you.